Today I'm going to show you a full progression guide to every floor of dungeons, including this Storm set and Necron set behind me, but make sure you hit subscribe and let's get straight into the video. Okay, so starting with floor 1, this is probably the easiest one to work out, because you basically can just use whatever gear you've got going on. This is a pretty decent set to start with. You could go for the rotten gear. You'll probably just drop this while you're playing the first few floors. These need a catacombs requirement of level 1, so you'll get this after you play your entry floor a few times, and you can buy these off the AH for like 10k. It's really not much, and these will do a decent job to start off with if you have nothing else to go for. They are dungeons stuff, so that really helps because you can star them straight away and get that going. But you've got to put a bunch of health actually and some decent stats once you reforge it with all the enchants as well. That's important. You can get some good stats from that. So in terms of weapons, I'd say you go for an AOTE, which is this one here, Aspect of the End. This is a pretty decent sword to start off with, or you go for something like a Raider's Axe, or just any drop dungeon sword that you've got, so like a Zombie Soldier Cutlass. If you get one of these early on, this could be good to beat you floor 1. Most of the time you will just win floor 1 anyway. It's quite easy to do. If you're struggling with that, just find a party member who can do it. Basically, it should be really easy to get through that one. I don't think there's any extra items in here, no. Okay, so floor 2, this one is more of a specialized setup. So if you want to go for mage, the floor 2 setup we're going to go for is some dark goggles, which you can buy from the NPC, and then just a young set. Now this is what, about 3 mil maybe. That's quite a lot of coins just to spend on floor 2. You don't have to buy this for floor 2. This could be used for floor 3 as well, definitely. If you want a cheaper set, I would go for something like Zombie Soldier or Zombie Knight, or any of the skeleton sets. They're pretty good and have lower requirements. Skeleton Knight, whatever they're called, Skeleton Master or whatever. But in terms of weapons, you want to go for the Zombie Soldier Cutlass. This is a really good weapon to start off with. Make sure you get on with a good item quality. This one is 74%, so it's not great, but this has also bonus attack speed, so you'll hit twice as fast. And yeah, it's a pretty decent sword to start off with. You don't have to enchant it yourself. You can just get it for, this is 11k on the AH. I don't know what the requirement is for that, but now this is a very important weapon. This is basically what every early game player uses in dungeons, so you want to get yourself a Bonzo staff. Now this is a very expensive weapon at 4.3 mil, so I definitely think this set may have to move up to floor 3, but you can always use something like the Rotten set might get you through floor 2. You could also use anything that you drop. It would probably be something like some you could use some heavy, or you could use some skeleton soldier, something like that. That will get you through the early floor 2. But yeah, this set is very good. If you had this, you do very well, especially if you can dungeonize these things like the dungeon boots here. That makes it a lot better because you can then star it, and it will get much better. So you see how this is 5-starred. Everything you have should eventually be 5-starred, but you probably don't want to do it for your lower floor items that you're not going to use for very long. Okay, so floor 3, what we're going to look at is the Zombie Soldier set. Now this is a really good set. I don't know why people sleep on this set, but like, it's really cheap. You can drop it really easily from Zombie Soldiers in dungeons. You get it all on Fierce or whatever, reforge, and then you combine it with a decent weapon. It doesn't really matter what weapon it is. You could use the Zombie Soldier Cutlass, or you could just use, I think, an Aspect of the Dragons works pretty well. It's just a solid weapon with a lot of crit damage, a lot of strength, all that stuff, and you can use the Dragon Rage a little bit to maybe clear some monsters away from you. Floor 3 is probably the easiest one to beat, I'd say. You can definitely do it with this. Now floor 4 is one of the hardest ones to beat. This is also because you might just miss your spirit bow shots in the boss fight. Thorn is a very difficult boss to beat, and there's loads of mobs around you. I suggest you just go with full adaptive here. The set bonus is very nice for this one. So say, what would you be? You might be like Catacombs 15 when you reach this. So you probably have at least 6% extra stats on your gear, which is very nice. You can't really see the stats that well, but this chest plate is really expensive. It's 3 mil, so you might not be able to afford that straight away. But this whole set together is very balanced. You get some extra stats from your class. So say you're a berserker, you get 20 strength, which is a little bit nice, and then you can get other stuff as well. If you want to, yeah, this is pretty decent for survivability because you have a good amount of health and defense, get a good amount of effective HP. But you could mix in some perfect armor, like a perfect chest plate, but this is too expensive. You can go for something lower tier and put that on there maybe, just to get yourself more defense if you're struggling to survive. Anything like that will work quite well. Now, the weapon is really hard for floor 4 because there isn't that many weapons that are good. You could go for an adaptive blade. This isn't great, but you get some strength, you get 200 damage, and it's a dungeon sword, so you can star it as much as you want. It's similar to the S for the dragons, probably similarly good. If you can get a fell sword, but this has a catacombs requirement of 20. So let's look at the fell sword in here. So fell sword, you get 190 damage, 135 strength. But if you kill a bunch of stuff, you can get up to 100 extra damage. So you could have 290 damage, and you could star that all the way and get a bunch. You also that gives you healer bonuses. So if you're a healer, you could use that. And the fell sword is relatively cheap, I believe. So yeah, this is 200k is really cheap. So you could use that on floor 4 if you have the catacombs levels, but you probably won't. Yeah, adaptive set is very, very good for the price, and you can do that for floor 4. Now floor 5, this is one of the hardest ones to do. What you'll probably end up doing is using your adaptive set and some sort of arrangement. I've got some perfect roots here. I don't know if these are any good, but these might be able to mix into your set. Floor 5 is the hardest one to do without a carry, basically, so you probably want to just get someone to help you with floor 5, pay someone to do it, get someone you trusted though, don't get scammed, and then you can unlock yourself Shadow Assassin, which will be very, very useful. So for this floor you should use Shadow Assassin, 3/4 Shadow Assassin with a Zombie Knight or Zombie Soldier chestplate. I've got some Zombie Knight in here, I think, yeah. One of these or one of these as your chestplate, because the chestplate is way too expensive for the Shadow Assassin set. Now I'd go for the Fell Sword as a weapon, or you could use anything from, like, I don't know, you could use a Livid Dagger once you've completed it. A Livid Dagger is a very, very good weapon. You should definitely get this as soon as you can, but it has a completion requirement, so you can't. I think floor 5 is the hardest one to do without getting a carry, so yeah, that's up to you really what you want to try and do. If you want to use the adaptive set coming up, then you will need a very high catacombs level, because that is going to be really, really difficult to win. But floor 6, this is actually a good one. I like this one. So what we've got here is a Shadow Assassin set. You need to get the Livid frags on this to make it into legendary 5-star. Obviously this is not all set up properly, and get the Ancient Reforge, which is a precursor gear. So don't use Fierce anymore. You want to use a precursor gear and get yourself Ancient, because this will give you a bunch of stats, and it gives you the bonus of crit damage per catacombs level, which is really insane. I've put a perfect chestplate here. This could be, you could replace this with whatever you want. It just has a ton of defense, so if you want to survive, you're going to definitely need something like this. Yeah, I really like the perfect chestplate because it increases defense by 2%. You get tons of defense. It's ridiculous. You get more defense than the actual Shadow Assassin chestplate by a long way. And yeah, the Shadow Assassin set is really good as well. When you get the rest of it, I don't actually have it all here, but I got the helmet here, and the good thing about this is it's legendary, so you get good reforges off of it, and it's just a very good set. Yeah, in terms of weapons, you want to use a Livid Dagger. If you've already completed floor 6, you can use some of their weapons, such as the Spirit Scepter is really OP. You could start yourself a mage setup of some sort using a combination of this. So this one is in between, because you will have to use this. You can use this to come down on floor 6, and you can use this on floor 7 to go up. But this is very hard to beat floor 7 with this set. So this is going to be a Necromancer Lord. Now what you will do with this one is mix it with something you've got. I don't know if the chestplate is about 8 mil, so it's similar to the perfect chestplate. I just don't have one. But this is a really good stat armor, so you definitely beat floor 6 with this. I think the best route is to go for a mage setup. So get yourself some goggles. I don't know which goggles it is, shadow goggles or something. This one, shadow goggles, yeah, and it gets you a bunch of ability damage, and it's Catacomb 16, so that's fine. 200 intelligence, reforge it to necrotic, and then you've got yourself a really good mage setup that will definitely beat floor 6. And you could just put a normal Necromancer Lord chestplate or a perfect chestplate if you want to survive more, but replace this with the goggles, and then reforge everything to necrotic, and you've got a ton of intelligence. And with the Spirit Scepter, you'll definitely beat floor 6. And at a high catacombs level, you could sort of help out in a floor 7. You'll probably get killed. Floor 7 is really difficult to do without any help from carries and stuff. So yeah, looking at beating floor 7 yourself, you will want to get one of these armors. So you've got the Necron set. Now for the helmet, so Necron is a very good set. It's very expensive. You definitely want to 5-star it, all of that stuff. Make sure it's perfect. You got all the hot potato books, everything like that. You want to make it. You probably want to even recom it eventually to mythic. I haven't got mine recom. Do you want it ancient? All of that stuff. So it has really good stats, the Necron. And what I would go for a helmet is whatever floor you're doing. So say you're doing floor 7, you get yourself a golden Necron head, which is somewhere here. Yeah, here, golden Necron head. So what this will do is, I think this is still the meta, I don't know, but so you'll get 2 times stats on floor 7. So if you have this plus the Necron set, then that's just going to double all of those stats, which is really insane when you're in floor 7. So that is a really good set to go for. Now if you want a mage set, you can go for this. So this is the set I use most of the time. It's the mage, so it's Storm, 3/4 Storm with these wither goggles that I've got on necrotic, 5-starred. These are recommed. I should recom all of this really to mythic, so I get better reforges. And you will, at this point, you will want to fix the enchants. My enchants are very good. You want like prot 6, growth 6, maybe even prot 7 at some point. But yeah, definitely as you go up, you want to fix all these enchants. They aren't very good. You need rejuvenate 5 as well. I don't know what I'm doing with that. In terms of reforges, you want necrotic. I think most of this actually has ancient because I was playing a little left click mage sort of thing. Yeah, this is another sword you can use, is the giant sword. Is what I use most of the time. This is a floor 6 requirement, so you can use it once you finish. Once you've completed floor 6, so you could use it to the start of floor 7. Eventually you will want to move up to a Hyperion eventually. This is the hardest thing to do. You will have to move up to a Hyperion. This is 600 mil just for the basic one. That doesn't even include the it's like 1.6 billion for the actual Hyperion with the implosion ability or whatever it is with an impact. So yeah, that's 1.6 bill that I will never have probably. So yeah, you need a lot of coins to do that. Other sets you can use, I actually have one more, is the Gold Ore set. So using this with a Reaper mask. I don't actually have the Zombie Slayer for this, but this is it. This used to be the tank meta. I definitely think it still is decent. And you reduce the damage you take from Wither. So that's an important thing about all of these sets. You reduce the amount of Wither damage you take. So in floor 7, this is going to be a lot, very useful. So yeah, these are all Witherborn sets, so it's like that. And if you have the full set, which none of these do actually, but you will get a little Wither minion who can be helpful, I guess. But yeah, so that is all of the sets I've got today. If you can think of anything better, do let me know, because some of these are really hard to come up with. Like floor 5, I had basically no idea what to do without Shadow Assassin. So do let me know in the comments. But make sure you hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.